talk today about a few different things that I've released recently and been working on. And I'll start out here, maybe doing a little playing around. Okay, so a couple of things I've released here recently. We had the wave chord melody video just released a couple of days ago. That's a really fun one to play and a really nice one to have in your repertoire as a little bit of a new kind of thing. I also created a supplementary video to that, which you can find in the description of that lesson. But that includes a little rundown on chord scales that you might consider studying or working through for each one of the chords of the progression. So that's going to be a really nice, helpful study. So be sure to check that out. It really just asks for a email to join the email newsletter. And speaking of which, sending lessons out, free lessons to my newsletter subscribers, and kind of exclusive links and some of my lesser known live streams, so links to that as well. So live streams is basically for my newsletter subscribers and members and things like that here on the channel. So great tune, Wave, Antonio Carlos Jobim. One of our great composers. Request for Pirates of the Caribbean. So in this live stream, I'm mainly focused on improvisation, and so if you have some questions along those lines, I'd be happy to help you out. So I may do a little more kind of exploration here on, hey Jeffrey, good to see you here. A little more exploration on the Wave tune, The Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. I know I've taught that tune at some point. Yes, happy Father's Day. Thank you, Jeffrey. Happy Father's Day to you. I don't actually know if you have kids or not, but if so, definitely happy Father's Day. And maybe I do know that. Have you? Just trying to think back here, but yeah, happy Father's Day. Speaking of which, I've got a little promo. This is my very first promo that I've done on the live stream. 20% off the merch store. So if all goes to plan, if you click the link in the description, you can take advantage of that. All right, so I'm gonna do a little more playing, and that also includes my new ebook on the chord scales, suggested chord scales for each of the changes there. So, hey Jeffrey on the vertical, thanks for joining there. Okay, folks. So yeah, a couple things I've been doing here in the past week, putting together this latest live or series of live streams. So I'm adding a few, kind of feeling it out a little bit during the week. So if you'd like to get a special invite to one of those, be sure to join the email newsletter. But I've been experimenting with having kind of a noontime midweek, so I don't know if folks can join during their lunch break. Of course, this is all kind of very conditioned on what time zone you're on, but all that. Okay. All right. So let me take your any questions. And my channel is mainly kind of a you might say jazz channel, although I don't officially call it that. Um, but kind of mainly that sort of thing. All right. So I believe got a coffee coming here in a minute or two. I don't know what I did with my phone, so I can't text my family, but hopefully we'll get that Fret Prince mug in here, and I'll take a few sips of coffee as we're going. So we've got, yeah, I know some Beatles tunes. I don't know if I'm doing don't normally play that one on electric, but I do have a couple videos on that one. I think I have a video on Dear Prudence, which is really pretty cool. So definitely check those out in my list of tunes. I've done all sorts of Beatles live as chord melody and in some groups and stuff like that. So. Okay, well, what are folks doing today? What have you been playing? What have you been learning out there? I can get. All right. Okay, everybody. So, yeah, we've got Wave, been on the acoustic. All right, I'm going to do a little bit more playing. I'm kind of at a loss for words here at the moment, so I'll just do a little more playing around. Misty. Maybe I'll do a little improvising on Misty. Okay. Yeah, Over the Rainbow. That's a great one. All right, thanks. We got the coffee. All right. Woke up super early this morning, 5 o'clock. So a second wave of coffee here. This afternoon. Okay. Steve Lastly joining in here. Thanks for joining. Voyager by Gamma. Check that out. All right. So I didn't get a podcast episode out this past week, but I'm going to be sure to get one out this next week. So probably just talk a little bit about maybe improvising on Wave, and there are actually some pretty striking similarities there between Wave and Misty parts of the percussion anyway. So and that you'll find a lot. Jeffrey, yeah, take a black, yeah, just black coffee. I like it. I like it that way. Let's see. You work seconds. I'm not sure what you mean on that one. Yes, I am. I'm very familiar with Julian Lage. Yeah, excellent player, guitarist. I don't know him personally, if that's what you're asking, but yeah, I am familiar with him. I follow him to some extent. I follow his material. Okay, and I mentioned you can get 20% off this very mug if you like for a special Father's Day promo here. That link is the first link in the description down below. Same with the coffee. You're also a black coffee drinker, yeah. I did take cream for a very long time, but at some point I switched. I'm not even sure why, but I really like it like this. I mean, I'm a pretty regular coffee drinker, so I guess the bitterness and a sort of association with the boost that you get from it, you know, I guess it's an acquired taste. What do I think about Julian Lage? Yeah, I like him a lot. I think it's really it really appeals to me that he's, you know, he'll play on a steel string and telly type things, and yeah, I think I've seen him play some nice Collings, look like arch tops. I'm not sure. Could be wrong. Maybe it's a different company. But yeah, and his content's really good, and also, yeah, I mean, I've heard him playing in groups and solo. He seems very excellent. So I hold him in high regard. Jeffrey says I learned Wave studying melody lessons, chord melody lessons years ago. Cool. Yeah, very cool. It's a great tune. It's really awesome. I was listening to some different recordings of it. Listened to some Oscar Peterson on it, course, I listened to some of the Jobim, recordings on it. Yeah, I find black coffee is a little less complicated too. That's one of the appeals of it. Yeah, I know who. Yeah, I'm familiar with Matteo Mancuso. Very impressive player. Yeah, I think he's excellent. Yeah, incredible player. Great chops, and I think he's really tasteful with what he plays as well. It's really good. Interesting. I believe that he plays, watch his right hand technique. It's really, it seems very unique to me. I'd like to know a little bit more about how he kind of came up with that. And I hope I'm not confusing him with another. Yeah, I think I'm thinking of the same person. But he's got this like right hand thing going on. With the even like 3 fingers and the thumb, it's pretty incredible to watch. So pretty neat. Okay, perhaps I'll do a little more playing here. Okay, folks, playing around there a little bit on Stella by Starlight, which I did some videos on a few weeks ago, and I did even did some. I think I did some lessons there on my website and possibly Substack. If not, I'm going to catch up on that because that's just such a great tune. The The ideas are kind of endless. I think on that one, I've been teaching that one for quite a while. This is let's see. I'll get a little more awake here. I had my coffee. Thanks to my family for bringing that. Let me see if I can get this on the screen. It's Ibanez. I'm aiming at two different screens here, so yeah, it's an Ibanez. You know, I whether you go with Ibanez or Gibson or Godin or any of those, one thing I've really kind of discovered, you know, maybe over the years and maybe a little later than I would have liked, is that, yeah, having, you know, kind of one nice all-arounder instrument is really, it's really very practical, you know. So, you know, like this is sorry if I mispronounce your name, and I also have a lot of trouble seeing, Capitang, is mentioning the ES335. Oh, you have one. Nice. So I don't. That would be cool to have in your collection for sure. I imagine you enjoy that a lot. But the body style of that ES335 is really, really great for doing a lot of things. Very versatile instrument. So I feel like I could kind of play a rock thing on this or a mellow jazz kind of thing. So it's been pretty cool, you know. So like sometimes at some of the gigs I play, I'll you know, space is often very limited, but sometimes I'll bring this one here, which I've done a few videos on. You know, but you know, sometimes just switching is, you kind of have to do it real quick, and hope that somebody's going to be talking for, you know, a couple seconds. It's not super long to do, you know, just detach the cable and put a new one in. But sometimes someone's already counting. That's going to be a problem. So yeah, this one's is kind of good. It can do all sorts of different styles and stuff on it. Okay, everybody, I'll be hanging out here for another 15 minutes. Thanks so much for joining me today. Nice. Happy Father's Day to those fathers out there. And I'll do a little more playing. Okay, so let's see. Think you're there? What gauge strings do I use? So these are, I think these are 10s right now. I think I switched from 10s the last time I changed strings a couple of months ago. And I think I'm going to stick with 10s. I'm not sure. Partly for that reason that I mentioned earlier, it's just nice to play one guitar and be able to really hit some pretty decent bends. But even with the 10s, I find they're a little resistant to things, to the bending. So I've got these are real light on this other one. I've got like 8s. So, but I find 11s are pretty good. Or 10. I kind of prefer 11s, but 10 when it comes to some of the chord melody things, I feel like it's just kind of easier to work with. So, what do you play with, Jeffrey? What do you have a favorite gauge of string? Steve, thanks for your comment here. Excursion is fabulous. Thanks. Don't play in your genre. Drive by Incubus. Cool. Yeah, absolutely. I've taught some Incubus tunes to some of my private students here. 10s, so 10s also. What was your main? Do you have a main guitar, Jeffrey, that you play? Or like a favorite, or everybody. Well, I'm gonna hang out here for a little while longer, but yeah, keep in mind I do lessons online via WebEx. You can find a link to that in the description, and so I think it's one of those kind of important things for folks to do, at least from time to time, get some feedback on the playing and things. Jeffrey likes the 335 style. Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, I totally agree with that. So, yeah, and special promo link in the description here. I'm going to have that last throughout the day here today. 20% off ebooks and merch, including the Guitar and Improvisation podcast mug. I'll likely be doing a podcast early this week. Let's see. Also, Les Paul Jr. Nice. So this is kind of in that Les Paul, this one over here, in that Les Paul kind of body style. It's just a double cutaway. A 70s-ish kind of vibe to it. Oh, I think I just messed up the focus on my camera there. There we go. That's better. I do not know any Indian music. I assume you mean Asian Indian music, but I am a passive admirer of some of those traditions. What I've heard, with instrumental music and the some of those odd time signatures and those things, really pretty cool. And the microtonal thing on some of those is a little hard for me to kind of get that, but maybe that's just having grown up with the sort of without the exposure to that. But it's really pretty appealing, and on some of the more artistic ventures that I intend to set out on, I really want to explore odd time signatures and varying time signatures, and so I do have a little bit of that in my one of my single releases, Tonya. So check that out. You can find that on Spotify as well. Everybody, well, I'm gonna hang out for a minute or two here, and then say goodbye from there. So if you have any last minute questions or anything, and happy Father's Day to everybody. I'm gonna try to take it easy a little bit today and rest up, and be back at it tomorrow, full force here, hopefully. Yeah, Rainy Day, it's been a while since I've played that. Yeah, I'd like to do that might be a really good one to do chord melody on. Here's That Rainy Day. I'm not sure if I get to that this week, but maybe. What was it that clicked for you about jazz improvisation? Did you have a "oh, now I get it" moment? Um, I'm not sure if I have like a moment like that. I would say it's kind of been more of a gradual kind of thing, but and this may tie into some things that I've been trying to get across in the podcast and other videos and things, which is that the more familiar you get with all the the chord shapes and the scale shapes, it all and the tunes and the repertoire, it all gets significantly easier. So yeah, I think it's, at least for me, kind of just been a gradual thing. And one thing I also encourage folks to do is kind of work with what you've got now, because that's all we can do. So if you're in a playing situation, whether it be like kind of you're playing for fun at home or doing a gig, but I would recommend just trying to prioritize what does the sound sound like, and stay a little bit out of the theoretical arena when you're doing those activities. And especially if you're playing a lot at home, I think it's important for folks to set out an intention. Two basic intents are, am I intending to practice or am I intending to play? I would just kind of label certain things that you're doing, just like, okay, I'm playing, or right now I'm practicing. But it's kind of the way I try to think about it is try to increase, my vocabulary, over time, so I can describe chord changes, for example. I can speak in that way, or might speak in more of a like a bluesy kind of way over a passage, or so over time, I would say just kind of you get more refined, right, as you play over the years, and you gain more and more language and listening experience, things like that. So I do remember taking a lesson from one of my teachers, Walter Namath. He played with the Buddy Rich Orchestra for like 10 years or something, and he told me about his own experience, thinking in terms of like, when does it all come together, so I think there is a period of time where you start to feel like, okay, it's all together, in a sense, like you can function, you can hang, but I don't know if there's an exact moment. So, all right. Let's see, Jesse, learning always hurt the ones you love. For Mom's birthday next week. C major 13 is a nice sounding chord that I came across while learning it. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, C major 13. Yeah, that's a great one. Nice find. Very cool. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining in. Please do like and subscribe. Happy Father's Day, and I'll see you all in the next one.